Over the last few months, Silver Eagle prices have plummeted, and you're probably wondering just how much. Well, stick with us because we're going to show you exactly that in today's video. Make sure you don't miss out on your chance to win a full monster box of Silver Eagles by going to our sponsor sdbullion.com/silverseeker and get your entry today. So the Silver Eagle premiums have been falling and falling fast. Back in March, we were looking at premiums closing in on $20 an ounce over spot, which is basically double what the spot price was. Today, those numbers are significantly lower. Additionally, 1 ounce silver rounds are also falling, so we're going to go over the numbers for Silver Eagles and the numbers for silver rounds, and let's get started with our first shop. Now, we're looking at Eagle prices from 6 different online retailers. We have them sorted most expensive to least expensive. So starting with the first one, we have APMEX at $8.99. Now, with all of these shops, we are going to be looking at the 1 to 19 ounce price and check or wire. If you're going to use crypto or credit card, you will have to pay more, but we're not going to look at those numbers. And additionally, we're looking at 1 to 19 because the majority of people can't go out and buy 20 or 40 or 60 or 100 1 ounce Silver Eagles all at the same time. But looking at APMEX, they come in at the most expensive at $8.99 over spot, which is 38.55%. That is quite high, especially compared to some of the other ones, but it's low compared to where it was just a few months ago when they were even showing $19.99 an ounce over spot. Coming up next, we have at JM Bullion a little bit cheaper at $8.48 over spot, or a 36.44% premium. They had silver at $23.27, and they had their Silver Eagles 1 to 19 checkered wire at $31.75. Next up, this is Money Metals. This brings us down into the $7 an ounce range at $7.39 an ounce over spot. They actually have 1 to 39 before you get a break for quantity, and their spot price was $23.24, bringing them in at 31.8% over spot. Now we get down into the lower numbers, and these are much better to look at, and this is what I'm talking about when I say the prices are plummeting. Again, remember, back in March, April, we were looking at $20 an ounce over spot for Silver Eagles. Now we have SD Bullion bringing us in at $6.29 an ounce over spot. That is 27.06% over spot if you look at the premium versus the current spot price for 1 to 19 at check or wire. Then we get even lower. We got Monument Metals at $6.04 over spot for 26.16%. Now our next retailer is actually a little bit lower on percentage premium, but 2 cents higher on spot price premium, on hard premium, I should say. And so we actually have them kind of at a tie, but we also have Hero Bullion at 26.15%, which is a little bit lower than Monument's 26.16%, and they were 606 over spot compared to their current numbers. So this is a huge disparity from what we were seeing just a few months ago, and I'm going to show you this chart that shows you just how far and how fast it's falling. So what we're looking at is a spreadsheet of the 6 online retailers that I track. Now, I know many people are saying there are other online retailers, and I don't disagree, and we may even add more to the sheet next year, but these are the 6 that I started this year with, and so we're going to finish this year without adding new ones. We may add new retailers starting in 2024. But let's take a look at the 6 that we have here. If we look at spot price today, it is $23.25 versus $22.99 back in June versus $25.80 back in May. However, look at the premiums. Let's look at the average. So we averaged up all 6 shops. Today, it comes to $7.21 an ounce over spot. The average of all 6 shops back in June was $14.32, with APMEX leading the pack at $16.99 an ounce over spot. But if you go back just a month before, APMEX was $20.99 over spot. JM Bullion was $20.99 over spot. That average, guys, was $18.61, 72.12% average premium above spot just back in May. Today, you can get these Eagles so much cheaper than you could back in May. It's not even funny. And, you know, people were actually buying these Eagles back then, which is why the numbers were so high. The demand was astronomical. But as you can see, if we would have waited just a few months, we definitely could have got a much better deal today. Now, looking at these, you know, we have them all rounded up. We had the lowest we had in June was 10. The lowest we had in May was $14.94. Today, the lowest we have is $606, $604. And again, that premium is so much different than it was. And in fact, if we take a look at the line chart that I actually do with these graphs, you can see this 5.8. You can see it's literally just, I wish I could sled on the slope. Look how far it has fallen. And that is the hard premium. So that is, you know, $10.99 over spot, $14.99 over spot, whatever. Those are the averages. you can see the slope for percentage premium is almost just as steep. You can start here. You have a little bit of a downhill here, but then you really plummet on that sled, and it becomes a lot of fun when you're going down that big old wet hill of snow. So that is Silver Eagles. What about rounds? Are they still coming down? Let's take a look. So with silver rounds, we will start off with today's most expensive, and this is actually a sale price on APMEX's website at $4.29 over spot for their 1 ounce any design silver rounds, 1838% premium. And we are going to go most expensive, the least expensive once again. Number 9, we have Money Metals bringing us at $3.99 over spot. That is 17.15% premium. And I'm always going to give Money Metals credit here that they actually show the premium per ounce right there on the website instead of you having to do the math and do subtracting with a calculator. You can see right here, it actually says 1 to 39 premium per ounce at $3.99. I wish all retailers would do that. Hint, hint, other retailers. There's nothing to hide here. It's easy for anyone to grab your calculator. Do me a favor, show us what the premium is so we don't have to do that math. But I will always, even though Money Metals is generally on the more expensive side, I'm always going to give them credit because I think that's a really cool feature of their website. Next up, we have JM Bullion, a little bit cheaper, but not much, at $3.89 an ounce over spot. That comes in at 16.70%. Then we have Monument Metals bringing us down to under $3 an ounce over spot. They have their 1 ounce 99 silver rounds, secondary market, very condition any mint, 2.99 or $2.99 I should say, or 12.94% over spot. Hero Bullion basically ties them at $2.96 at 12.76%. You can see 12.94 versus 12.76 on the percentage side. And the reason those numbers are different is you can see Monument right here is 23.11. Is what they had spot price at when I took the screenshot. Keep in mind, numbers could change while I'm doing screenshots. And then, Hero Bullion had 23.20. Additionally, some of the sites just have a different number for the spot price, and that's because there is no universal way to calculate spot prices right now. There needs to be. We've talked about that in other videos, and I will bring it up again, how I believe there should at least be a universal spot way to calculate spot price so that all sites have the exact same number. And then finally, we have SD Bullion at $2.59 an ounce over spot, or a percentage premium of 11.13%. That brings us at the end of our 1 ounce silver rounds of the 6 retailers we were looking at. Now, I do want to give a quick honorable mention to something that I couldn't put on the sheet because it's a very limited item. In other words, they won't be around for very long. However, it was the cheapest of all silver rounds that I found today, and it was actually the 1 ounce silver Dig Dug coin, by the way, that APMEX actually has at $25.82 any amount. That is cheaper than any of our generic rounds. That's cheaper than any of our Silver Eagles, and it certainly earns the place of an honorable mention. I just could not include it in today's chart because, again, it's a limited quantity item, and once they're sold out, they're gone. It's not like Buffaloes that just have a standard premium that's coming down. These will not be around for very long. And of course, you guys know I do a silver round sheet as well, just like I do Silver Eagles. Now, we did do a video back in August, but we're going to kind of ignore that since we aren't looking at August numbers for Silver Eagles because I didn't do a video back in August for Eagles. But taking a look from September to June, we have $23.25 spot price today, June $22.99, a difference of 26 cents. That is, we already talked about that on Eagles. Not a big difference there, but the premiums are a little bit different. So we had $4.18 as the average premium back in June versus $3.47 as the average premium today. Notice the disparity between June and today is huge from Eagles to rounds. Eagles were way, way, way more expensive premium-wise than silver rounds back then, and the silver round premiums, while they are going down at a much slower pace because they were already lower compared to the Eagles percentage-wise by a ton. And we can look at that exactly by looking all the way back in May. The average premium in May was 19.02% for rounds. And if we look at Silver Eagles, the average premium for Eagles in May was 72.1%. So 19.02% rounds, 72.12% Eagles. I was saying back in March, I was saying back in May, I was saying back in June, I was saying back in August, and I'm still saying today that silver rounds are still the way to go. Because, in my opinion, it's still better to stack more weight. And if you can get 20 Eagles or 25 rounds for the same money or whatever it works out, even if it's 20 or 22, in my opinion, it's still better to have more weight. But there is a limit to that. When Silver Eagles, and I've said this before, when Silver Eagles start getting under $5 an ounce over spot, or even better, under $4 an ounce over spot, like they were pre-Silver Squeeze, I'm going to be back to stacking Eagles just like I was back then. I have Eagles in my stack now. I just haven't added a significant amount of Eagles to my stack in the last few years because the premiums have been too high. But as you can see, those numbers are crashing, and they're crashing quick, and they're going to continue to come down, I hope. And when they get back to those numbers where I can start recommending Eagles over rounds, because Eagles do hold their value better, no argument from me there. I just think that they hold their value better enough compared to rounds, given that the disparity between the spot price and premium. But when they do get there, I'm going to tell you that I will be stacking Eagles again. Now, I'm not a financial advisor, and I don't tell each and every one of you what you should do. All I do is report on the facts, especially when it comes to Eagles and rounds and premiums and things like that. So guys, listen, if you like this video and if you want to learn more, if you want to see more like this, do me a favor and don't forget to subscribe. Additionally, I actually did a coin roll hunt recently, and I actually found silver. If you guys want to see a really great coin roll hunt, watch that video above. I don't think you've seen it yet because YouTube did not share it out very well. So I would hope you go check that video out right now. And otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one, and have a great rest of your day.